Hi guys, it's Amy here and today I bring you my April book haul. Now I may be a little bit biased, but I do feel like my book hauls recently have been pretty top notch. Like, I've been so excited about all of the books that I've acquired and that I've been sent, and it's the same this month. I've got a good load of books here. I'm looking at them. There's just so many books. It's actually worked out quite well that I did that book unhaul recently, because now all the books that have been just sat in piles on the floor can now actually go on the shelves. So let's just jump straight into the books. Firstly, I have two classics here, both by Jane Austen. Firstly, we have Pride and Prejudice, and then secondly we have Mansfield Park. You guys know that I'm collecting these editions. I read Persuasion this month and I will be talking about that in my wrap-up, but these are two that I didn't have from this collection. I have read Pride and Prejudice before, but Mansfield Park will be my next to read on my Jane Austen list. So now that I have these two, I think it's only Sense and Sensibility that I don't own. That will be the last Jane Austen I try and attempt, because I did try and read it a few years ago, put it down and then just never went back to it. So I think after I try Mansfield Park I will read Sense and Sensibility. Moving on to some non-fiction, we have Dispatches from Syria, The Morning They Came for Us by Janine di Giovanni. When I spoke about the Raqqa Diaries in that video, Jenn, I believe, Jenn Campbell, recommended this book because I said I wanted to read more around the topic of Syria, because I don't really know a lot to do with it all, because I don't really watch the news a lot. So this I think will be really informative. It's also quite a short read, so I think I will get to it in the next couple of months. Another non-fiction we have is Storm of Steel by Ernst Junger. This is Ernst Junger's memoir on World War I, where he was a German soldier fighting in the trenches. You guys know that I love reading books set around the World Wars, so I will definitely let you know what I think of this one when I get around to it. Just realised I've got some books here from publishers, which I usually mention at the beginning of book hauls, but today my head is just not feeling in the right place. I just don't feel like it's screwed on properly, so now I have some books to show you from publishers. Firstly, from Skyhorse Publishing, we have Cottonmouths, a novel by Kelly J. Ford. This one I requested because it sounded particularly interesting to me. It follows the story of a girl named Emily who kind of moves back home and rekindles a friendship with a childhood friend. I think it has LGBTQ+ themes as well. In the midst of rediscovering this friendship, she discovers a meth lab on her friend's property, and so that obviously sends them down a dark hole, it sounds like. I haven't read a lot of books about drugs or the drug community, but it is something that sounds interesting to me, so this one did pique my interest. And then I had two books sent over from Pam Macmillan. Firstly, we have The Last Days of New Paris by China Mieville. From what I'm gleaning from the inside flap, we have two different storylines, one set during 1941 during World War II, and then another in 1950. There's a lot to do with surrealism and art and Nazis, and it just sounds brilliant, so I'm very much looking forward to picking it up. And the other one sent over from Pam Macmillan was A Swimmer Among the Stars by Kanishk. Tharoor. I think we can all agree that this is an absolutely stunning cover. This is a collection of short stories. From the back here it says it shares things like an interview with the last speaker of a language and a chronicle of the final 7 days of a town that is about to be razed to the ground by an invading army. Definitely sounds like one I'm going to enjoy, and as I want to read more short story collections this year, hopefully I will be picking this one up in the next couple of months. Okay, moving back onto the books that I bought for myself, some fiction. I have a couple of books here that I pre-ordered for myself, so I was so excited to receive them. Firstly, we have Shelter by Jung Yun. This one has been on BookTube for like the best part of like a year. Everyone's been raving about it, and I've been sat on the edge of my seat waiting for the paperback to come out, and it is finally here. I am so excited to have it, so I'm really looking forward to picking this one up very, very soon. The second one I pre-ordered was Fell by Jenn Ashworth. This one I picked up on the recommendation of, I believe, Mercedes. I seem to remember seeing it on her channel. She really enjoyed it, and so it went straight on my wish list, and as soon as it came out in paperback I picked it up. I believe this one is a family type drama set in the 1960s, and I've really been enjoying family type novels recently, so I'm hoping I will really like this one. Next we have a couple of books that I picked up because I saw them on Simon Savage Reads channel and they sounded really, really good, so I picked them up straight away. Firstly, we have The Carhullan Army by Sarah Hall. This one I believe is kind of a dystopian type novel. It's got a authority, repressive regime, and a huge group of rebel women who are escaping from them, and so I believe hopefully it's going to be quite a good like feminist book as well. We'll let you know what I think once I've read it. And the second one that I saw on Simon's channel was Magda by Meike Ziervogel. I've butchered that name. This one is basically looking at Magda Goebbels, the wife of Joseph Goebbels, who was the propaganda minister for Adolf Hitler. This book kind of lays out her life and how she came to be where she was, and become the kind of woman who ended up poisoning and killing all of her children and having the role she did in kind of Hitler's regime. It just sounds incredibly interesting. I will let you know once I've read it. Moving on to some poetry, we have Hold Your Own by Kate Tempest. You guys know, if you've been here this year, that I'm trying to read more poetry. I haven't read a lot of poetry. A lot of it goes over my head, to be honest. I read Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur this month and didn't have much success with that one. I will speak more about it in my wrap up at the end of the month, but yes, I'm hoping to have more success with Kate Tempest and I will let you know. Finally, the last book for this video is a comic series, and that is Volume 5 of Deadly Class. You guys know that I'm loving this series and I was really excited when this one finally came out. I also really love the colour that they've chosen for this one. I think all of the books together look really, really nice together on my shelf. This is basically like young adults killing each other, sex, violence, drugs, just a lot of like really crazy stuff happens, and I really, really enjoy it. I really hope this one lives up to how good the rest of the series has been so far. I will definitely give you my opinion once I have finished it. So there we are, those are all the books that I've acquired in April. I'd love to hear if you've read any of these or what you've been buying in April as well. As always, I will leave links to Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, everything I've mentioned today down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day and I will see you soon. Bye!